everyone, Rachel Moore here. I'm live in my family room with our life group tonight, Inspired Minds, and we were talking about adversity and how we can learn from it. So I kind of want to share with you some key points about adversity and the key thing to do that you can do to respond to get better results from those experiences. Now, the first thing I want to kind of share is the definition of adversity, and I have it here. You think about the word adverse. It's something that's unfavorable, acting against, is actively opposing your desire or your interests or your wishes, and is contrary to one's welfare. And working in opposition or opposing direction is another word for adverse, and opposing one's interest or desire. So that's, when I say adversity, you think about some things that are contrary to what you wish to happen, something that's undesirable, unexpected, and that is what sums up the meaning of adversity. And in relative terms, you think about the disappointments that you have. You know, think about some of the things that may have happened over the past week that's kind of been disappointing to you, or a defeat. You know, I know for teams all the time, we're in the football season and there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser, that's defeat, but you can always have a certain attitude that's going to help you overcome that, and you'll be able to respond in a different manner or get even better results the next time around. Delays, setbacks, and unexpected, undesirable events. So now I'm going to kind of share with you 3 different types of adversity that you need to understand. And I'll go from the most severe to I consider minor. One of the most severe adversities and challenges that people can have is maybe a physical challenge or a limitation. And what I'm going to do is, after I list these 3, I'm going to give you 3 specific examples about each one of those. So you have the physical challenge or limitation, and then the next one may have a loss of a loved one, and that can be through death or divorce. And we have, people when they lose a loved one in those 2 different categories, it can be very it's a strong, severe case of adversity. And then the last thing is unpleasant experiences. Okay, now the first one I want to talk about is the physical challenge. My son, one of my sons, I have 4 of them, and one of the twins, Jamaica, he was actually diagnosed last year with a severe case of scoliosis. And this was something that was out of the blue. It was really a tough time for our family. And on the picture you'll see here is the picture of his back, how it looked, and you can literally see the curve in his spine. And I didn't notice it until we was Christmas time. The boys was kind of taking their shirts off and flexing their muscles, and I looked at his back. I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened? What happened to your back? So immediately that January, which was January 2014, we took him to the doctor, and they said, yes, it is a severe case of scoliosis, and it's more than, if it was less than 25%, it could be corrected with a brace, but anything over 40% degree curve is going to require surgery. And that was like a slap on our face, because his was over 60% degree curve in his spine. So we then had to go through a lot of different things and try to prepare for that. And he had a surgery in June 2nd of 2014. And so that was a big challenge for us. We had to, get him comfortable with, we literally were rolling him from side to side just to, after the surgery. And that went on for a while until his healing process completed. And for him, now that was a challenge for us, but what about him? Because it was his body that he was feeling that adversity himself. And his attitude was, hey, I may have a rod down my back, but I've got a perfect posture now. So that was a great attitude. He sits straight than anybody. You don't have to worry about slouching or all those problems that people have because of slouching and not having good posture. He has a perfect posture. And during that time, he has taken his time to really learn a lot of different things to even add to some of his skills. So he turned that situation around and made it positive. So it was all about how his attitude, and he possessed his own mind and really began to think of things in a different light rather than looking at it as a limitation. The next one I want to show you and talk about is the loss of a loved one. Now, I had a friend that had lost her husband, and they used to pastor, and he used to, pastor together, and I invited her down after he passed. I said, why don't you come down to one of my Build Your Dream workshop? I wanted her to come, and I said, because we're going to be actually dream building, and we're going to plan, be thinking about what we want our life to be about. What is it we want to dream about for our relationships, our health, our finances, our lifestyle. I want you to begin to dream bigger. You got to re-identify yourself, find a new identity for yourself after this loss of her husband. And she came to that workshop, and it was amazing. I think she made more than one television board. She made probably 4 of them that day. And she was so excited. She said, Rachel, I am just so thankful that you invited me and told me to come to this. Came down from Atlanta, and she was just had a whole new breath of fresh air, and she was looking at life in a positive again, and with a lot of hope. And within months, she called me back and she said, Rachel, I'm enrolled back in school. I'm so excited. And she has completed now her master's in divinity. And just recently, within last month, or I think it was in August, she was just ordained and had a church dedication. And her daughter, which was so neat, was actually ordained as a prophet, and they're going to be working in the ministry together. So look how that whole situation turned around. She's not alone in ministry, but she's ministering with her daughter, and she's just got ordained, and now her church has been dedicated, and all this has happened within the last 2.5 years. 2.5 years. So that was another way of turning adversity, the loss of a spouse, of a loved one. She turned that around after she began to visualize and be able to see and have hope again and be able to dream again, and to build her dream and build her future and say, this is what I want. I want to go back to school and do this. So she had that on there. She wanted to get her, her counselor's degree. Different things. She's just been moving and shaking since then. And it's just been a great thing to witness and to be a part of helping her to move into that place. The last thing is something that we probably experience every day. These are unexpected events that happen every day in our life. Something breaks that's major. You have a car failure, an engine failure. We experienced that. I had at one time, even with your business, it was really weird. I had this hard drive that was connected to my computer, and all of my files for my business was on there. And at the time I had a PC, it wasn't just a Mac, so I had and somehow a virus came in, and it literally went after one folder. I had several folders on that PC, on that hard drive. But the only folder that was affected was my business one. So I lost all the data, all the information, all the presentations, it was so much stuff. And it happened early on in my business. So around 2011, I think. And I was just really struck and thinking, oh my gosh, is this a sign I'm supposed to not be doing this business or what? But then after I changed my focus and I said, no, I'm going to create better material. I've lost all this stuff, but the things I'm going to create now is going to be even better than what I did before. And the lesson that I learned from that was to back up my information on multiple backups, multiple drives. I don't just back it up on my hard drive on my laptop or on a single drive, but I have multiple backups. So that's something I learned from that. That was a lesson I learned from that adversity. And so there are all kind of things that we face, and we just have to realize that when we go through these unpleasant things, these unexpected things, these disappointments, these setbacks, we need to have the right attitude, turn around for the positive, look for that seed of that's going to benefit you, that turn into an asset, to turn that adversity into an asset. And you're going to see a lot of more successes in your life if you recognize and understand how to deal with adversity. And one of the common things that was for all 3 of those examples that I share with you was that positive mental attitude, learning how to turn it around, turn a situation around, a negative thing, making lemon out of lemonade. Okay, so I hope this was something that was helpful for you, and I want you to go back and look at your adversities and the disappointments and things that you're actually going through and experiencing right now, and see how you might be able to turn that around for the positive in your life. And also, I want you to go to my website, moreofrachel.com, and you'll be able to get a lot of more information. You'll get some things there about some programs that I offer. Sign up for my conference calls. That's inspirational. That's no cost to you. And also, you can there's a free ebook that you might want to get. So just put your name and email in there, and you'll be able to get the ebook that's shown on the website. So until next time.